Welcome back to the channel, The First Sergeant Effect. I am the First Sergeant, also known as Robyn. I am a retired United States Marine Corps First Sergeant, and this particular channel is geared toward parenting, parenting as far as moms, high performing moms, overwhelmed moms, super busy moms, and single parents, married, doesn't matter. Just want to provide some coaching and give some tips about what's going on out there, because of course I believe that we all need to be making sure that we're protecting our children at all costs. So this particular video is going to be about things that predators say to lure your children. Some of these phrases you may be familiar with, and some of them you may have never heard before. So we're going to go ahead and discuss them. And I have everything up here on my computer because my laptop is still acting a little berserk. So I'm going to be reading it verbatim from my computer here, just so we know everything and what's going on. So first things first, right? First, hit the like button. Subscribe, share, let's get the word out. We want to educate as many parents as we possibly can, because we can see what's going on in society now. There is something going on with a lot of predators abducting children, assaulting kids, all kind of things. So having been a United States Marine Corps First Sergeant, right? One of the first things we learn in the Marine Corps is how to assess a threat. And in order to assess a threat, you need to know how it operates. And that's the same thing when it comes down to parenting, right? So these predators are looking for trust, access to your child, and an opportunity. We learned in the previous video that they're looking for, again, trust, secrecy, and any kind of opportunity to get near your child. So let's go ahead and jump into some of the things that these predators are saying as they're grooming your child. So again, I'm going to be kind of reading verbatim because I want to make sure we get all of this information. And if you want to know what I'm referencing from Psychology Today website. So here we go. Predators use grooming language designed to break down trust barriers, isolate a child, and gain emotional or physical access. So some of the flattery and attention type terms that these predators will use. You're so mature for your age. So this is them telling the child, you know, you're so much more mature for your age, and kind of giving the child a false sense of hope and making them feel as though they're older than what they really are. And in turn, you know, eventually getting that child to doing some things that they should not be doing. You're so pretty. You should be a model. Definitely predatory language that, you know, shouldn't necessarily be told to a child. You're so special. You're not like the other kids. Yes, everyone's child is special, but when a predator is saying it, it definitely has a totally different connotation. So we need to make sure we're being mindful of, again, who's around our children and what they are saying to our children, right? So here's some of the secrecy and trust building terminology that's used. You can tell me anything. I won't judge. Predator trying to build the child's trust and getting the child to have some kind of communication with them in a confidential way, right? Telling them, oh, you can tell me, I won't judge you, trying to get the child to be comfortable around them. That way they can start building secrets that no one else knows about. Your parents wouldn't understand you like I do. I said in the last video, the predator that may assault your child is already in your circle. They already know you. They already know the child, whether that's a teacher, a coach, family friend, a family member. They are already in your immediate sphere. So again, it's our responsibility as parents, right, to talk to our children and make sure we know what's going on with them, and they know some of this predatory language, and that it's not okay to keep secrets with other adults, right? Oh, the infamous, this is our little secret. Definitely red flag, big no-no. An adult should not be telling a child, this is our little secret. Don't tell anyone. They won't get it. Manipulation tactics. They won't get it. Again, another way that the adult, right, is luring the child into believing that that one adult, the predator, is the only person the child can trust. Scandalous. So sometimes these predators will use gifts or other incentives to, again, groom the child and to eventually want the child to do the things that this disgusting predator will attempt to do. So, for example, he's saying, do you want some gift cards? Do you need some money? Just don't tell your parents if I send you this stuff. Just don't tell your parents. Again, Secrecy, secrecy, secrecy. This is how these predators are getting a hold of the children. They're persuading these children that they should not be, that they should be in a secret circle of trust with just the predator and not telling the parents what's really going on. Emotional manipulation that the predators use. I feel like we're soulmates. Now, of course, I'm saying predator as an adult, but some of these predators are, around your child's age. They just may be older teenagers or things like that. A predator is a predator, and they shouldn't be using this type of language, nor should they be persuading your child into keeping secrets or doing anything that they should not be doing. You're the only one who really understands me. So making the child believe that they are the sole person that the predator, right, can rely on because you're the only person who understands me. And so, again, making that child, putting responsibility on that child that the child should not have. If you need me to keep you company, or if you stop talking to me, I'll be really sad. Emotional manipulation to the highest. So we have to make sure that we are monitoring who our children are talking to, seeing what's going on their phones and their text messages. And I know they have the Snapchat and all that kind of stuff now where these messages will disappear, but we have to be creative to save our children, because where we're not willing to be as creative as we possibly can, the predators are being creative, and they're meeting your children in these gaming channels, and they're meeting your children online in other spaces, in YouTube and just different things like that. So we definitely want to make sure that we are being conscientious to where these predators are at and making sure we protect our children. Now, you would ask, how are these predators selecting their victims? Don't worry, we're going to talk about it. So predators don't just choose randomly. They look for vulnerabilities that they can exploit, right? So accessibility, we talked about that, right? Kids active on social apps, games without strict privacy settings. Those who accept friend requests from strangers. I'm an adult and I don't accept friend requests from people I don't know. It's just too many things happening. There's too many weirdos out there. So the kids should definitely not be accepting friend requests from strangers. So please drive that point home. Vulnerability signals. Kids who post about feeling lonely, feeling misunderstood, or having conflicts at home. Now, I'm old school, and of course, I grew up before the internet was, on your phones and things like that. When I was coming up, the internet was just at certain places, hospitals, on base, at schools, things like that. So back in those days, we were always told, don't go to school telling anybody your business, or whatever happens in this house stays in this house and it's not anybody's business. But it seems as though the kids nowadays are using the internet as an outlet. And so when they're sharing their feelings on the internet, or they're telling random strange people that they don't really know, hey, I'm having a conflict at home, my parents are getting on my nerves, etc. Again, we got to figure out ways to get that child to redirect those conversations back to the household, back to the parents, because talking to strangers online, they're looking for an opportunity for a child that's going through some conflict at home, or feeling lonely, or feeling misunderstood. That way they can just swoop in and unfortunately try to take advantage of and or manipulate that child. Right? Are children seeking validation, attention, and friendship online? Those are some other vulnerabilities that these predators are looking to exploit. So making sure that, again, we're just in tune with what's happening, because now, gone are the days, for the most part, where the scary predator is walking up to the kids at the park and snatching them there. Now, that still happens, but as we can see here, it's been an influx of the predators meeting the children online and luring them out of the house that way. Responsiveness. Children who reply quickly or engage in long conversations with strangers. Do we see what's going on here? These random strangers are watching your children's actions online. They're watching what your child is saying, and they're watching what your child is doing online. And then they are just kind of randomly showing up and striking up a conversation with your child. So if your child wouldn't talk to a stranger in person in real life, they shouldn't be as apt to talk to a stranger online, because again, we never know who that is on the other end of that phone. They could be, or on the other end of the internet, they could be saying that, hey, I'm 17 and your child is 15, when really this weirdo is 45 and the child is 15. So we just need to be really conscientious of what's going on, because again, this is where they're at. The predators are online. Testing boundaries. They start with harmless topics, then slowly push boundaries with more personal or inappropriate questions. Come on. No adult should be asking your child any kind of inappropriate questions. It's inappropriate, hands down. So again, let's make sure that we're being mindful of what our children are putting on the internet. And I'm not judging anybody. My son is 25. I don't necessarily have to deal with too much of this, right? But predators are out there, and I have a very soft spot for children. And I even mentioned on the last video, since school just kind of started back, or at least for this particular area, that on the Nancy Grace show, Nancy Grace does crime shows and things like that. But she quoted a statistic here recently, and it said that 1/3 of child abductions, okay, happen while the child is going to or from the bus stop. I'll say that again. 1/3 of child abductions, and of course, unfortunately, the child is also assaulted and or harmed, happen while the child is on the way to or from the bus stop. They're out there. We have to be mindful. We have to be vigilant. So again, a quick recap. We just need to be paying attention to the verbiage that these predators are using online, telling your kids that they're special, telling them that, don't tell anyone, they won't get what we have going on. They don't get it. Telling them, I feel like we're soulmates. No weirdo on the internet should be telling your child that they feel like we're soulmates, right? Looking out for that accessibility, looking out for signs online. Is your kid online discussing that they feel lonely, that they feel isolated, that they're having conflicts at home with their parents? These are gateways that these predators are looking for to get near your child and take advantage of them. So just wanted to kind of cover this really quickly, and we're going to have another video coming up soon about the apps that these predators are on and how they access your children. So stay tuned for that. And again, thank you for coming to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.